In this video, I'm going to give you 3 exercises that are going to improve your ability to audiate. Now, audiate or audiation is a very subtle skill. In fact, its name, audiation, which you may not have heard before, reveals how visually centric our culture is, right? I would like to say imagine music, but even the word imagine contains the word image, which is a visual thing. So most of this video is going to be in the dark, so to speak, and I'm going to guide you through 3 audiation exercises. Now, audiation is going to improve your musical memory, and it's going to improve your musical imagination, and it's going to improve your musical creativity. All things that you do with music really need to begin in your mind and your heart. So these 3 practices are going to touch on each one of those. Now, the other thing that audiation can really help you with, and it's kind of baked into the stuff that I'm going to give you now, is the ability to mentally practice. Now, we know from sports science that athletes who practice their moves, their basketball shoots or their serves or whatever they do with sports, they improve. The mind does what it does in real life. The brain does the same things when you're mentally practicing as it really does when you're playing music. So these 3 guided audiations I'm going to lead you through, each focus specifically on one of these 3 aspects that you can improve. Without further ado, I'm Hans at tuneindigo.com. Let's begin. For each one of these audiation practices, I'm going to dim the lights, and I'm just going to put some visual, something to keep your eyes, if they're open, occupied, and I'm going to summarize each step as we go. So you can keep your eyes open, but I really recommend that you close them, or what would be even better is to put some kind of lie back and put some kind of eye mask on, or even a blindfold. You can also spray paint sunglasses so they're totally dark. Let's begin. Here's the first practice, and I'm calling this Old Familiar Melody. Imagine yourself opening a little treasure chest. It's old and scuffed, but elaborately decorated. Now see in your mind the latch as you unclip it and open the lid. Inside the chest is a memory. You hear a melody you have known for a long time as it floats out of the treasure box. As you listen, it transports you back in time. See everything you associate with this music. Hear the sounds around you and feel the emotions it brings about. Imagine the people with you in the memory. Focus now on the emotion or feeling state that it calls up. Where were you when you first heard this music? Who were you with when you sang it or played it, or even when you heard it later? Audiate this music clearly in its original state. How did it sound? Did you sing it as a younger person? Now zero in on the sound of the instrument or voice singing or playing the music. Hear it in as clear detail as you can. And while this is going in your mind, think of an instrument that you like, but that is different from the one that you are audiating right now. Gently, transfer the sound of the melody to the new instrument. Do it carefully, kind of like you are pouring fluid from one glass to another. Now, as clearly as possible, imagine the melody on the instrument. Return your mind to the image of the treasure box and will the music to return to the box. Hear it soften and fade as you gently close the lid. Set the box aside. Believe it or not, you just practiced Audiating. You just practiced really the most important thing about any kind of musical training, which is to hear what you are going to play before you play it, to hear what you're going to write before you write it. And even though your memory goes back to something that you've heard a long time ago and maybe not really since and maybe never played on an instrument, you're still strengthening that skill. Let's go to the second practice, which is where you're going to imagine or audiate a piece of music that you are currently playing. Imagine a second treasure chest. This one looks new, but comfortably worn. Imagine yourself unhooking the latch and opening the lid. Inside is a high-definition sound recording of you playing or singing this music. You hear and feel every note as this familiar music floats out of the box and into your mind. Choose a short section to give your focus to. Maybe it's just a little melodic fragment. Maybe it's a bass line that catches your attention. It can be as short as a few notes or as long as a whole phrase, but not super long, because whatever you choose, make sure you can audiate it clearly. Seek the sensation of being able to hold it in your mind as a single unit. And where it starts getting fuzzy, return to where it begins. Allow this music to loop a few times, and with each loop, allow it to slow down, like zooming in on a melodic microscope, where every detail is revealed. If you sense that you are hearing something inaccurately, or if something really feels fuzzy, adjust your speed, faster or slower, to clarify your mental playback. As it loops in your mind, play with changing the rhythm. Can you stretch out some of the quicker notes so that they sustain? Do this with a sense of curiosity and wonder, and if it's difficult or if you feel yourself resisting or feeling like you can't do these transformations where you slow down and speed up the rhythm of the music, that's okay. Just understand that it is something that does improve with time and gentle, unjudging practice. Now, return to the image of the treasure box with its lid still open. The music is still looping in your mind in its newly changed state. If it's slower or faster, you can return it to its original speed and tempo. And carefully, like you were holding a little baby bird in your hands, mentally return the music to the chest, to the treasure box, and close the lid. Set the box aside. So there, you are touching the plasticity of music that you know. And if you're involved with ear training, and you probably are in some way if you're watching this, you want to be able to manipulate sounds in your mind to compare them to other sounds that you know. So you've got things that you recognize in your mind and things that are unfamiliar to you in your mind. And you want to be able to compare familiar and unfamiliar in a really elegant way. And this helps you do it. Let's go to the final one where you create a little piece of music. Now, when I say create a little piece of music, I mean just a little piece of music. Again, adopt a sense of play. There are no stakes in any of these. And so in this one, you're going to start with just one note. There's a third box. A small box, like would hold a ring or a single jewel. It hinges open without releasing a latch, and inside is a single tone. Imagine the single tone floats off of its little velvet pillow through the air and gently into your mind. The tone can be fuzzy and distorted like an electric guitar, pure like a flute, or anything in between. And it just sustains. Play with it like you're playing with a new toy. Imagine it pulsing in rhythm or just sustaining. Allow this single tone to change to different sounds, retaining the pitch. So maybe now it's the sound of a violin playing your tone. Now it's the sound of an organ. Now it's the sound of a child singing ooh. And it keeps pulsing or sustaining, just one tone. Now, let it change pitch. Start by letting it change to one other note, then back to the first one, and allow it to alternate in rhythm between those two pitches, back and forth. First note and the second note. Let it continue pulsing between those two tones. They might be far apart from each other. They might be right next to each other. Keep them the same and play with speeding them up and slowing them down. Give yourself time for each transformation. Still with only two tones, imagine them shifting from a steady pulse to a repeating rhythm. And here, you might have it be a series of the first note played in some rhythm, followed by one instance of the second. Or maybe they go back and forth in some kind of rhythm. Play with the same two notes, changing the rhythm, back and forth. Eventually, let the rhythm subside so that you are audiating just the two tones pulsing steadily back and forth. Then let that second tone fade away so that you are only audiating the original tone, the first tone. And allow that tone to fade back to the box, whether sustaining as a tone or repeating gently through your imagination. Gently shut the box, feeling it softly close with a click, and set the box aside. You can practice these three or even just one. You can practice any of these at any time. Anytime you want to activate your musical intelligence for memory, imagination, and creativity, or anytime you want to practice something that you're working on, but you want to give your fingers or your body a rest, you can sit or lie down in a comfortable place and practice that second one. But you can elaborate on it where you're looping something and incorporating your physicalness. Okay, so I hope you found this helpful. Please comment down below. Let me know how you did. I'm especially interested in if you're able to relate this to other work we've been doing, where you're singing melodies in solfege that you know, and where you're playing music by improvising, where you're improvising music, making an effort to pre-hear as you go. Thanks so much for listening.